finally, I'm one of the things that I love about appreciative inquiry is that it's number one, it's open source, and number two, it invites innovation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some principles and there's a model, but over the years, many people have been able to make it their own and create innovations that raise appreciative inquiry to the next level. So I'm wondering if you've had an opportunity to play with AI and create an innovation.
That's a great question. And I think that's an important thing for people who are coming into the field to know that we're sharing a process, but it's not the process. And how do they make it their own? So I've had the blessing of doing a lot of large summits, and they're very exciting, but the real gems are in those working one-on-one and doing some coaching or doing some small groups, because then you can really see what happens after that surge of relationship and meaning making and energy that comes from it. And so I love the 4D model, and thanks to you for being part of the originators of that model that has helped guide us for many years. As AI kind of moved for me into more of the individual coaching and small group meetings, I began to use more Ron Fry's continuity, novelty, and transition Venn diagram as a pathway to bring people through it. And it doesn't kind of roll off the tongue, continuity, novelty, and transition. But people love the process. And so about 4 years ago, I changed my business to return on energy, because I believe that organizations are suffering from the same climate crisis as the world physically is, that we're being fueled by negative energy. And that if we can tap into that universal field of positive human energy through appreciative inquiry, then we will be energized and ready for the challenges. So being on that kind of playing with the climate, I took the 3, continuity, novelty, and transition, and I created the AIR framework. And AIR stands for appreciate and learn from the past, imagine the desired future that you want to co-create, and then reflect on your answers and take action. And when my graphic designer put it together, I said, I don't want it looking like a Venn diagram. So he put a white circle. And so I had this big white circle. And I'd been reading Thomas Friedman's book, Thanks for Being Late. That tune. But one of the things he had in there was, it's about how to be optimistic in an accelerated life. And he had this quote: when a machine pauses, it stops. When a human pauses, we start. We start to question our assumptions. We start to really test, where am I at emotionally? And there's a whole lot of things. So I will share with the group the model, and happy to use it. And so in the center is the pause. So the first thing is to pause. Before you do anything, get yourself ready. How am I going to create my own safe container and the safe container? And then it can guide people. And so what I loved about it, I shared it at a hospital. I was doing a training one day, after lunch, this nurse manager came back and she said, oh my gosh, I was dealing with a performance issue. I'm walking down the hall. I pause. I think, what's the first question I ask? We've been meeting for 3 or 4 weeks. It's always like, what's happening with the project? And so she came in and she said to the nurse, I'm going to change a little bit. I'm on a course, but I want to start by asking, what was it that attracted you to nursing? What have you learned from nursing? And it turned out this nurse was 4th generation nursing, very proud of it. Okay, if you were to imagine a year from now, what would you be doing in your career? She wanted to move to pediatrics. They had a conversation. Okay, let's reflect. We know your strengths. We know where you want to go. We have this challenge in front of us. What do you propose that you can do, and what can I do to support you? The nurse came up with the answer. They left. And when the manager came back, she said, what was exciting was in that 20 minutes, I learned more about that individual than in the 2 years she had worked for me. So that's what I think of AIR. You can walk down the hallway, you can bring it in, and it's a guide to help you build relationships, share the future, and come up with actions.
That's beautiful. Thank you.